Okay. So yeah, the yoga world can be quite interesting, and I find in yoga studios, yoga spaces, that it can be quite a masculine sort of linear approach to yoga. And, you know, yoga really was designed for the male body. So I found, you know, in my exploration of yoga that I wasn't really connecting to my feminine experiences, which is why I was so happy to find womb yoga and to study with Uma Dinsmore, because it's a yoga to sort of connect you to your rhythms. Women are very rhythmic, cyclical creatures. And this is a style of yoga which is connecting you to that rhythm, which is essentially the rhythm of life, right? And we live in such a, you know, a linear sort of masculine based world. So it's really nice to enter a space where, you know, you can explore more of that feminine energy and kind of get out of that structure. So yeah, we're gonna get right into it. And then for anyone who's watching the recording, if you are menstruating, this is also a really good practice to accept and honor the rhythms of your cycle. So for all those reasons, this is a space, for me, it feels like a coming home to who you are, to your essence. So we're gonna get right into it. And I'm just gonna mute you, but if you can't hear me, or, you know, you need me to explain anything, just give me like a little wave and I will, yeah, I'll help you. So we're gonna start in just a seated posture. So you can sit cross-legged. And feel free to sit on like a pillow or whatever you like. And this is just to establish a full body breath. So you can bring your hands onto your knees and then start to kind of wiggle onto the sits bones and feeling into that rooting, into that grounding on both sits bones. And then perhaps closing your eyes or keeping the eyes soft as you lower your chin down. And bring awareness to your pelvic bowl. So just notice if there's any tension or any tightness here. And then sort of bringing the rib cage to rest over the pelvic bowl. And then noticing how you feel in the physical body in this moment, how the energy feels. And noticing how your breath feels right now. Noticing how you're breathing. And starting to invite a few deeper breaths into your body. So breathing from sort of like the pelvic floor, the base of the pelvic bowl, breathing all the way up to the base of the throat. And then exhaling all the way back down towards the pubic bones. And then inhaling all the way back up to the base of the throat. Pause. And exhaling down all the way down to the pubic bone. Pause and again, inhaling all the way up, 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 base of the throat. And exhaling all the way. Feel free to stay here, or we'll come into more of a lateral breath. And you might even like to place your hands on the sides of your rib cage as you do this. So a sideways breathing, kind of connecting with that space as well. And start to inhale and feel that expansion. Breathing. And exhale. Inhaling, feel that beautiful expansion, almost like butterfly wings in the rib cage. Big breath in, inhaling out, sideways. Exhale. One last breath here. Big breath in. And then exhale. To release. Gently placing your hands onto your knees. Taking a moment here. We'll softly come down. So if you're on a pillow, you can just sort of move it out of the way. And come to lying on your back with your feet flat. So feet will be flat, and the hands will be pointing up. Checking you can see, yes. So the hands are pointing up, sort of pivoting on the elbows here. And the movements we'll go into are sort of connecting with the opening and then the protection of the womb space. So just kind of feeling into the energy of going inward and outward. So on the inhale, you can open the legs up, so open the knees up, almost like a Supta Baddha Konasana legs, and then you can open the palms up as well. Slight arch in the lower back, kind of like a cow back. And then as you exhale, kind of going into that protection feeling, curling the tailbone in, press the lower back into the floor. And again, inhale to open up, feel that outward expression of energy, arch of the lower back, lift the heart. And exhale, drawing in and in. Inhaling to open up again, lift the heart, open the knees, squeeze the outer hips to release the knees. Exhale, drawing in. Inhaling again, open up. Exhale, drawing in. Last two. Inhale, open up, arch the lower back, squeeze the outer hips. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Releasing from this, you can start to hug your knees in and just kind of rock side to side. And then coming up to sitting, feel free to just roll to one side, or you can roll along your spine and come all the way up. So coming into a nice, comfortable, cross-legged position. Actually, do you know what? Let's start with the feet flat. So bringing the feet flat. And then you can grab the, just below your knees here. And we're gonna go into sort of like a cat-cow movement, and I'll go sideways to show you. And this is more inviting a flow of energy, a flow of Shakti, feminine energy in. So how it looks is as you inhale, slight arch in the back, reach your heart forward. And then as you exhale, start to pull the shoulder blades apart, round, tuck the chin. Inhale to release, arch the back, lift the heart. Exhale, curl the tailbone in, tuck the chin, pull the shoulder blades apart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, round. So you're inviting that full flow of energy. Inhale, up, squeeze the shoulder blades. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift the heart up. Exhale, release. Inhale, reach up, up, up. Exhale. Last one. Inhale, lifting up, arch the lower back. Exhale. Squeeze, draw in and up. You can start to come out of this, so sitting cross-legged. And take a few kind of wiggles, feel into the sits bones. Good. And then we'll bring the soles of the feet together. Now, as you do this, if you feel like you want to bring cushions under your knees or sit on anything, feel free. And you can start to grab the ankles. If that doesn't feel comfortable, you can grab, closer towards the knees. And this breath work is going to bring your feet into the movement as well. So how it looks is, as you inhale, spread the toes, kind of like a lotus flower, and then lift the heart up, arch your lower back. And then as you exhale, close the toes, so press the toes together, round through your spine, tuck your chin and lean back. Inhale, spread the toes, lift the heart, squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then exhale, round, tuck the chin. Inhale, spread the toes, lift your heart. Exhale, round. Good, so keep going with this at your own pace. You're pulling energy in through your feet. So there's sort of like the wings of the womb, the soles of your feet, pulling energy up into the womb space. And this is actually, a meridian in the soles of the feet going all the way up to your beautiful womb space. So really activate the feet as you do this movement. Taking 2 more rounds, big breaths in. Exhaling to release. Inhale up. And exhale. And softly coming out. So now we can come into cross legs. Good. So take a few rocks at the pelvis. You can place your hands on your knees and just sort of leaning forward and back. Let this movement come from your pelvis. As you come forward, like the pubic bones are trying to press down onto your mat, and then leaning back. So inviting a feeling of fluidity in your pelvis. And then notice the breath. So as you come forward, that's the inhale. As you lean back, that's the exhale. Tailbone curls in and up. So you'll start to build that connection of an inhale being the lengthening, the release, and the exhale is that contraction, that pulling in and up. So we build that connection with our pelvic muscles, knowing when to release, knowing when to draw in, building that memory. Good. So same idea, but we'll take some big circles now. So you can keep your hands on your knees as you do this, and just taking giant circles with the rib cage around. It's an inhale to come forward, and then an exhale to come back. And again, inhale to come forward. Exhale back. And then you can try going the other way as well. Notice if there's any difference with the movement as you go the other way. Good, okay. So coming back to center, you can inhale to reach your arms up nice and high. And as you exhale, releasing your right hand down, coming into a side fold. Press into the left sits bone and release any tension that you might feel in your hip creases. Fold it over. And then as you inhale, come all the way up. Exhale over to the opposite side. So coming over to your left side, and then press into the right sits bone. Release any tension in your hip creases. And then take a few flows. So using an inhale to come up, and an exhale to release. Inhaling up, exhale over. Taking one more round. And then we can inhale all the way back up to center, reach up, big breath in. Exhale. Okay. So coming into some some twists now. So we'll start going over to the right. So you can inhale to lengthen your spine up. And then looking over your right shoulder, grab the right knee with your left hand, fingertips behind. Again, pressing into the sits bones as you twist to look behind, drawing the belly button in, and then staying here, so keeping your hand exactly where it is on your knee, but take the right hand and reach it over top, like it's going towards your left knee. So it's a little bit of a side fold in the twist. And then keep pressing into the right sit bone as you reach through the fingertips. And then inhale all the way up and out and release. Good. Again, wiggle into the sits bones and then lengthen your spine on a breath in and then look over your left shoulder, fingertips behind. Then coming into a twist, so drawing the belly in. And then right hand will stay on your left knee as you bring the left hand over top, sort of going diagonal towards your right knee. And then pressing into the left sit bone as you reach through the left fingertips. Open your chest towards the ceiling. And then inhaling to come all the way out. Just taking a few little moves to release from that. Good. So we'll make our way into tabletop now. So take any little moves that you like here just to kind of release, maybe a few circles. And it might feel good as well to point the fingers back and take a few rocks forward and back. Breathe into the wrists, into the forearms, any tension that might be living there. Good. And then coming all the way out, we're gonna come into like a little cat-cow flow. So how it looks is you'll start in a child's pose with the hands forward. And use a breath in to come forward with your spine quite rounded. So inhale, round your spine, come up. And then as you exhale, release, arch your back. Keep that arch in your back and then come all the way back into your child's pose. Good. Release, stay for an exhale. And again, take a breath in, round the spine as you come forward. Exhale to release, arch the back. You can look up if you like, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Inhale to come all the way back. And then stay for an exhale. Inhale, round the spine, come forward. Exhale, arch the lower back, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Keep that arch in your back. Inhale, inhale, come back. Child's pose. Stay for an exhale. Inhale, round through the spine, this time staying in tabletop. And then you can exhale just to release and come back to a neutral spine. So coming into some more circular movements, and how it looks is leaning to the right and then coming forward to rest on the top of your hip points. Leaning to the left, so you're making a full circle, and then coming back. So you can make it feel really rhythmic, really easeful. There isn't like a specific way this has to look, just kind of making big circles and inviting a feeling of softness, of fluidity in your pelvis. And just ensuring that you are kind of moving in a circle, not just forward and back. And then use your breath. So maybe taking one more round. In whatever movements you're in. And then we'll meet back in a tabletop position. And you can start to tuck your toes. You're going to come into down dog. So on an inhale, lift yourself all the way up. And you can start to bend into the knees, kind of shake the head out. And then take a deep breath in all the way up. Exhale, mouth. Take any little moves you need here, kind of shaking the hips out, shaking the head out. And then on an inhale, you can inhale to lift onto the tiptoes. So you kind of lift the heels up nice and high. And then pivot on the feet so the heels start to point towards the right side of your mat. Your toes point towards the left side of your mat. So you'll feel a twist now. And then start to bend into that twist. Press into your left hand. Draw your chest towards the top of your thighs. And then inhale to come out, back to center, over to the other side. So drop your heels to the left, so your toes are now pointing to the right side of your mat. And then start to bend into your knees and then press into your right hand, nice and strong. Draw your chest towards the top of your thighs. Inhale, come all the way back to center. Look in between your hands, and you're going to walk all the way forward. So coming into a forward fold. So feel free to bend the knees here. So just kind of release the hamstrings and maybe grab the elbows, shake the head out, take a few sways. Good. So this pose is nice and cooling, right? We're kind of opening up into the kidneys and also releasing the pelvic organs from the gravity of the abdominal organs over top. So this is a resting pose, a nice release for the pelvic organs. Good. Maybe taking one more deep breath in and out here. And then we'll slowly start to come all the way up. So you can slide your hands up the front of your legs as you come all the way up, up, up. And once you get to the top, just inhale to reach your arms all the way up, lift up. And then exhale, fold all the way back down. Inhale for a half lift. You can place your hands on the shins. Exhale, release. Feel free to flow here if you want to go through a flow, or you can step it right back into your down dog. So you take your choice depending on how your energy is feeling today. And also feel free to modify, down dog. If you prefer to be in a puppy pose, you can always take that variation as well. So taking one more breath in and out here. And then looking in between the hands, hopping or stepping again into your forward fold, lengthening down. And then again on that inhale, slide your hands at the front of your legs, nice and slow, kind of feeling into the body. And then lift the arms up, inhale. And exhale, release all the way back down into that forward fold. Inhale for a half lift. Hands can go on the shins, look forward. Exhale, release. And again, feel free to take a flow here, or you can jump right back into your down dog. So take your pick. And then in down dog, we'll stay for one breath in. And exhale. Good. Look in between your hands. We're going to come into a plank position. Pull the shoulder blades apart, take one breath in and out. And then option 2, come down onto the knees. You can keep the legs lifted if you like. Draw the elbows in, and we're gonna lower all the way down. Good. Once you get down, you can place your fingertips on either side, tops of the feet go flat. Inhale, lift yourself up as high as you like, maybe look up. Exhale, release. 2 more times, just like that. So you go with your own flow, own rhythm. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, release. Last one. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, release. Good. Bring the hands under the shoulders. You can go into a tabletop position, and then inhale, lift yourself all the way back into down dog. Take a deep breath in and out. And then looking in between the hands, hop or step all the way into your forward fold. And again, feel free to bend the knees as much as you like here, kind of shake the head out. Good, and then we'll slowly come up. So again, touching into the fronts of the legs, kind of feeling into the body, and coming all the way up to standing. Good. So I'm just gonna adjust this a little so you can see me. So get about hip width distance in between your feet, and with the hands on your hips, just start to sway side to side, almost like you have a dragon tail and you're just kind of swaying it. So feel into that rhythm. You could even close your eyes as you do this. Let your breath guide you as well. So there's this giant dragon tail behind you, and it's swaying back and forth. Good. And then try some big circles as well, almost like you're in a hula hoop. And feel free, if it's better for you to release your hands, you can do that. Or you can keep your hands on your hips as you do this movement. So we're trying to let our Shakti flow, let it feel free. It can get sort of blocked or stuck sometimes. Very common for women, for this whole area to hold quite a bit of tension. So just some easeful breaths, opening up in this space. All right. And then try the other way as well. So notice how it feels to do those giant circles in the opposite direction. Beautiful. Okay. So coming back onto your mat, if you've moved off, just coming to the front of your mat and keeping that same kind of flowy, nice vibes going on. Inhale, reach your arms up, and exhale, release, forward fold. And release your head, release any tension in the neck. And then you can take your left foot, step it back, and release your knee down. So we're coming into a low lunge. Feel free to pad up your back knee if there's any discomfort here. So you can place padding on the back knee. And then with the pelvis, sort of feel the tailbone tucking in. You can even place your hands on your hip points and just draw up. And then you'll feel a nice stretch on the left side of your quad. Sink in. And we'll take 3 breaths, sort of making a moon shape. So hands at prayer. As you inhale, lift the hands up. Flip the palms and exhale. Two more in your own time. Inhaling to open up. And then an exhale to release. Last one, inhale, lift the sternum up, up, up. Exhale, release. Good. Place the hands on either side of your right foot, tuck the back toes, step it back into your forward fold. Stay for a breath in and out. We'll come all the way over to the other side. So the right foot steps back. You can, again, use padding on your back knee and set yourself up in your low lunge. And again, the pelvis is kind of, hip points are pulling up. So curl the tailbone in a bit and feel that stretch on the right quad. And then we'll take 3 moon breaths, right? So go at your own pace here. It's an inhale to come up. And then exhale to release. Inhale up. You can lift the sternum a little bit up towards the ceiling. And exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Good. So bring the hands down to frame your left foot, tuck the back toes, and come back into your forward fold. Release any tension in your neck. Let the spine just kind of hang down. And then on an inhale, we'll come up. So you can place your hands at your hips. And hinging at the hips, come all the way up to standing. Good. So move this out of the way. So taking your left foot, stepping it back. So we're coming into a crescent lunge pose. So as you set up for this, you might notice that, you want to bend your knee a little bit to frame the hips forward. So just see how you feel. Not having the leg perfectly straight is okay. And then lifting the back heel, sinking into your right knee. Good. We're going to take some Cali roars here. So kind of releasing, sending energy out. So with the hands at center, kind of in a prayer position, sinking into the front knee, inhale to lift up. And then as you exhale, you can open your palms forward. So it kind of looks like this. And then exhale through the mouth. So really let that energy come out. 2 more. Inhale up. Good. Taking 1 more. Inhaling up. Beautiful. Frame the right foot and take a few flows into a pyramid style pose. So bending into the front knee and then straightening. You don't have to straighten the whole way. You might keep it a little bent. Just feeling into that space, noticing how the hamstrings are feeling. Go with your breath. Good. Beautiful. Okay, so you can come back to a bent front knee and then bring your hands onto the inside of your right foot. Point your left foot parallel with the short edge of your mat. So you're getting a warrior 2 stance. And then we'll slowly come up. So press into both feet and then come all the way up. So coming into warrior 2. Okay, so You can take a wider stance, so you don't have to be perfectly aligned. Notice what feels good in your pelvis, and then start to squeeze the outer hips to open your front knee as you sink in. Squeeze the shoulder blades together a little bit. Keep that energy in your upper back, and then breathe in and out. One more breath in and out, maybe sinking a little deeper. Good. Okay, let's release. So you can bring your hands to your hips, straighten your legs. Maybe swivel the feet in just a little. I'm gonna move back so you can see me. And just release from that. So just kind of take some big circles. Just let all of that go. So we're building strength with the pelvic muscles, with the adductors, abductors, hip flexors, and we're also feeling into fluidity, right? So we need both. We need the strength, but we also need the fluidity. So it's very much a practice connecting to the water and earth elements. Good. Okay, so let's go right over to the other side. So you can just point your left toes towards the left side of your mat, coming into that crescent lunge position. And again, you know, notice how it feels with a little bend in your back leg. So see how that feels in the pelvis, kind of building that awareness. And then we'll come into the Kali Wars. So hands at prayer. Good. Inhaling, reaching up, and then open the palms forward. Exhale, mouth. Good. 2 more times at your own pace. Inhaling up. Exhale. Good. Last one. Inhaling up. Beautiful. Come into those little pyramid flows. So frame your left foot. You can keep the back heel lifted and just kind of bending and then straightening the front leg. The movement can look however you like. There's not a correct way to do it. You're just sort of feeling into the space, noticing any tension that you can breathe into. Beautiful. And then we will come into warrior 2. So bring your hands onto the inside of your left foot and frame your feet. So you're coming into warrior 2 stance. And then as you're ready, starting to lift yourself up. And again, you don't need to be in a perfect tightrope line of alignment. You can always have a wider stance for the pelvis if there's any tension. And then squeeze the outer left hip. And you'll notice the knee starts to open as you do that. So you engage those muscles. And then arms reaching out, slightly squeeze the shoulder blades together to engage your upper back. And then sinking in. Maybe looking over the front hand. Taking a few breaths here in stillness. Last breath in and out. Gently release your hands to your hips. Straighten the front leg. Swivel the feet together. Take a few, whatever little movements that you like. And we're going to slowly come down now. So start to come all the way down. And we're coming into a squat. So feel free to sit on, you know, blocks, blankets, whatever you like. You could even lean against a wall. And then bring the hands to heart center. So we'll connect with pelvic muscles here, room space as we breathe. So you might want to close your eyes as you do this. You can lower the chin. And start to notice the very subtle difference in the body when you inhale and when you exhale, specifically in your pelvic muscles, in your womb space. So notice the difference in inhale and exhale as you breathe. So you can continue breathing like this. Now, when you're inhaling, you might have noticed that this is like a lengthening and a release in the pelvic muscles. When you exhale, there's a little bit of like that contraction, that inward and upward feeling. So start to notice that, build that awareness. Taking one more breath in and out here. And then gently releasing. Okay. So if you're not already, you could actually go into the squat just kind of on your mat for the next pose. Bring your hands down and take your left foot and step it back. So we're coming into like a lizard pose. So the right foot will be on the outside edge of your mat. And maybe to start, lifting your knee and just taking a few circles. And then maybe leaning forward and back. And you can really drop the hips here, let it feel like a yin pose. Don't worry too much about having this perfect alignment. And then starting to drop your left knee. Open the right knee even more, and then start to open your chest as you bend your back knee. Now you might grab your foot, you might not, you might just kind of lean back, maybe even flexing through the foot. So just go to the space that works for you. Don't feel like you have to grab your foot. If you have a strap, you can always use a strap. Whatever variation you're in, just start to really sink your hips. So just relax your hips down and then twist. As you draw your foot in with your hand or just with using your own muscle to pull it in. And then softly release. Good. Frame the right foot, bring it all the way in. We're going to come into a pigeon. So you can start to bring your right knee to the right edge of your mat. I'm going to put a timer on so I don't keep you in this too long. So before coming down, just sort of like squeeze the hip muscles, almost like you're scissoring the legs together. So really strong. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then bring the fingertips behind you and lift your sternum up towards the ceiling. You can kick out through your front heel as well, and then take a deep breath in and out. Good. And then start to release as you come down. So come down to wherever feels comfortable for you. So you could stack your fists and just kind of rest your head. You know, you might stay a little bit lifted. If this is crazy uncomfortable, you know, you can always do the variation, like a thread the needle variation. So don't feel pressured into doing one style. I'm going to move my screen a little bit so you can see me. Good. So notice if you're holding any unnecessary tension in your jaw right now. See if you can release that. Release the tension in the face, the eyebrows, the forehead, the jaw. Soften where you can. Taking a final deep breath in and out here. Very gently coming out. So you can tuck the back toes in and just sort of swivel the right leg back. So you're in a tabletop and you might want to take a few moves as you release from this. And then we'll work our way over to the other side. So bringing your left foot forward into that lizard pose. And tuck the back toes in. And again, take those circles. Just kind of moving in a big circle. Again, opening up the muscles in the pelvic floor. So feeling into strength and fluidity. And then maybe leaning forward and back, noticing how that feels in the body. And then resting the knee back down, we'll come into that quad stretch. So you can start to open your left knee, sink the hips as much as feels comfortable, and bend your back knee. Now you might prefer just to stay here, so feel free. You can option to grab the outside edge of your foot, just an option. If not, just keep flexing and drawing the heel towards your bum. And then open your chest towards the left, sink the hips even more, take a deep breath in. Softly coming out, releasing out, and come into your pigeon so you can bring your foot over to the left side of your mat and then dropping your knee down. And remember, there's always a variation if you prefer to do that. Foot the needle pose if that feels better for you. And then we'll stay lifted for a moment, kind of squeezing into the hip muscles, drawing in, kind of scissor action with the legs, and then you can bring the fingertips behind you and then lift your sternum up towards the ceiling. Take a deep breath in and out. And exhale, release. Start to slowly come forward. You can stack the fists if you like, or rest your forehead down. So just find the support that you need. And release any tension in your jaw, your forehead, eyebrows, neck. And taking a final deep breath in and out here. And then slowly working your way out. So you can just swing your leg around. Swing your leg all the way around and just kind of release the legs. Maybe kick out through the feet. And we're gonna start to come down now. So there's a few options. As we come down to Shavasana, let's take a few final poses. And you can press the feet down. And we'll come into a bridge. Now, if you do have a block, you can always come into like just a restorative version of bridge with a block under you on the lowest setting. We're gonna do more of an active one today, just for a few breaths. So you can press the elbows down, place the palms facing each other, press into the feet, And then just stay here and start to press the lower back nice and strong into your mat. You'll feel like your tailbone sort of curling in. Keep pressing nice and strong. And then you can stay here if you like, if you feel a lot of activation. Otherwise, use an inhale to come up, up, up. Keep the knees hip width. And then press in between the shoulder blades. Press the neck down into your mat. Exhale, release. All the way down. 2 more just like that, going really slow. So start to press the lower back into your mat. Press the feet down nice and strong. And then use an inhale to lift up, up, up. Press in between the shoulder blades and under the neck down. Maybe lifting the hips a little bit higher this time, squeezing the glutes. Exhale, release. So really going with control as you come down as well. Last one. Release and settle. Press the lower back, press into the feet. Curl the tailbone in, and then as you inhale, start to lift yourself up, up, up. Reaching through the hips. If you wanted to have more of a challenge here, you could even bring your feet further away from you as you lift up. And then exhale, slowly coming down with control. Good. Okay. Bring the knees in towards your chest, and we'll come into a twist. So with the knees together, coming over to your left, you can place one hand over your knees and then start to open your chest towards the top of the ceiling, maybe reaching your right hand to the side. Take 3 breaths. Gently coming out and all the way back to center. And go all the way over to the other side. You can place your hand over your knees and then even feel the top hip pushing away from you as you open your chest towards the ceiling. And stay for 3 breaths in and out. And gently releasing from this. Coming back to center and maybe giving a final little squeeze, drawing the knees in. And then you can come into a Shavasana. So lying down in Shavasana, or if you prefer to do a seated Shavasana, if you want to come into like a seated meditation, you can do that as well. So take your pick. And start to let everything settle. So maybe wiggling on the hips, whether you're lying down or sitting, and just kind of releasing, softening in the shoulders, softening in belly, and then relaxing the face, relaxing the neck, release the jaw. An invitation, if you like, to place your hands over your womb space. And softly breathing in and out of this space, maybe even picturing like a little crystal or a flower as you breathe in and out of this space. Inviting a few deeper breaths into your body. Inviting some tiny movements. Some tiny movements, maybe a stretch. Starting to think about coming up, so maybe rolling over to one side. We'll meet in a comfortable cross-legged position. So just with these last few closing breaths, invitation to connect with either the feeling of fluidity, the water element, or the feeling of grounding and strengthening and stability. Maybe noticing through this practice what you want to connect with more. So the fluidity, the water element will be the thumb touching the pinky finger. And if you sense it's more that you want to get into the earthy grounding and strengthening, you can bring your thumb to your ring finger. And placing the hands maybe on tops of your knees, starting to close the eyes down. And again, visualizing into your beautiful womb space. So perhaps that crystal or that lotus flower, and taking a moment for gratitude. So you have this beautiful Shakti energy, this feminine energy flowing through your womb space. Same energy that we see out in the universe, that we are a part of. So reminding yourself with this practice to connect to that rhythmic energy that you are, the energy of life. Taking a final deep breath in and out here. And release the mudra. Stay. So much for your time, and thank you for sharing